Ottawans marched to Environment Minister Catherine McKenna's office this afternoon. They say they're defending Canada's Pacific coastline. Kinder Morgan is on the verge of constructing its tanker and pipeline project in Burnaby, BC.
Obviously, we're not in British Columbia, we're not in Coast Salish territory, so it's very easy to feel removed from this pipeline battle. So bringing like a physical piece of what's at stake to Ottawa sort of represents what the battle is all about.
Activists and Indigenous people presented water from BC's coast to the minister's office. There they demanded that the government not push the pipeline forward without First Nations consent.
One of the sort of slogans within the climate movement, and especially within Indigenous communities, is water is life. So if we don't have clean water, if we don't have access to drinking water, we're putting everything at risk. Everyone here will not vote for her or Trudeau in the next election.
McKenna was not there to greet the crowd, and a member of her staff said she would be on Parliament Hill for quite some time.
I'll be more than happy to pass it along if any.
With the pipeline and tanker project looming, activists hope that their call to defend the water will be heard. They say they plan to occupy the minister's office until she returns. Jenna Cocullo, CJTV News. The Human Resource Association released a report last year stating that marijuana consumption while on the job is expected to skyrocket once weed is legalized in Canada this summer. But nearly half of all Canadian managers and business owners said that they feel unprepared to roll out policies addressing weed in the workplace. Some employers say they're concerned that workers will smoke up during their breaks and cause potential harm at work, especially at dangerous jobs. And even for jobs that aren't necessarily as risky, there are concerns that customer service could be compromised.
The legalization is I think, going to create a normalization of marijuana in the workplace, and I think employees that perhaps didn't consider the use of marijuana as a medical source are going to be more inclined to go that route.
Business owners and human resource personnel were at the Shaw Centre this morning. There, two Ottawa employment lawyers pushed employers to consider how they'll manage staff who might be high on the job. Lawyer Russell McCrimmon says some employees might take advantage of legalization to smoke up during their breaks. He and his associates say that the best approach employers should take is to treat workplace weed like they would alcohol, even if they have a prescription.
When you frame it in the context of alcohol, no, you couldn't bring a Mickey to work with you. You couldn't be drinking at your desk. And that's how policies can be framed to assist in terms of education of workers.
One manager at this Ottawa pub says the most difficult task will be identifying when their employees are under the influence and taking the proper course of action.
I just think it's something that should be controlled, and that we might not have the tools set up yet. Like with alcohol, it's easy to do a blood alcohol test. I don't think it's as easy to determine if somebody's intoxicated on marijuana.
But the people who sell marijuana say that using the drug may actually make some people more productive on the job.
Most people only use it enough to stay functional, to help them get through the day.
The lawyers say that developing tools to detect an employee's cannabis consumption and randomly testing in the workplace can lead to a serious invasion of privacy. The lawyers say that employers don't need to go through such extensive measures to find proof of marijuana consumption. They say that they could penalize an employee based on suspicion alone. They say that it's their responsibility to err on the side of caution if they feel they're entering a hazy situation. Jenna Cocullo, CJTV News. The doors are open at Ottawa's first oat specialty cafe. Haute Couture is the latest addition to a street full of trendy coffee shops and restaurants. Owner Brian Montgomery wants to bring something new to Ottawa's coffee scene. He hopes to reinvent the way people see this classic breakfast.
Originally, I wanted to do something that was a riff off of breakfast that maybe hadn't been done. And then I thought, we can take oatmeal and have an all-day, love affair with oatmeal, really, by having lots of different products that are oatmeal related.
There are potential perks to setting up shop in an affluent neighborhood, but that also means high rent prices and stiff competition. A lot will depend if Haute Couture can turn an old breakfast staple into something more.
I think that healthy eating and the fast casual market of restaurants is a trend that's going to stay with us for a while. I think that oatmeal has been stuck in a slot in people's minds where it's just everybody does the same thing with oats in the morning and they don't think of it for evening or lunch.
One marketing expert says that millennials are at the heart of recent food trends. They want more authentic, handcrafted food than traditional microwaved or fast food meals.
What we've seen through the industrial age and beyond is an increased mechanization of the food production system. And for a while, that was really hip. It was cool. In the 50s, you couldn't get anything more interesting than a TV dinner. But now people are thinking about preservatives and all the consequences of that and want to get back to the farm. The oatmeal is a really interesting opportunity to sort of build a relationship with this group because nobody seems to own the morning yet.
It might be hard to make oatmeal an all-day breakfast food of champions, especially when a bowl starts at $7. But this new business is hoping to beat the odds by dressing up this traditional grain in a brand new way. Jenna Cocullo, CJTV News.